Good morning students. This video is for class 4 science, and today our topic of discussion from the chapter friction as a force will be the use of friction in our daily life. What are the uses of friction in our everyday or daily life? Friction plays an important role in our daily life. Friction has a very important role or very effective impact in our everyday life. It is very useful for us as it helps in performing many activities. So it is very useful to us because it helps us to perform many activities in our daily life. Some example of uses of friction in our daily life are as follows. Number 1. Friction provide the grip that is necessary for stability and motion. So friction gives us that ability, that strength to keep us stable and move around. It is because of friction we can stay in a particular place. It is because of friction we do not fall down. Number 2, it helps us to hold things like books, like a book, a water bottle, and many other things. I'm holding this marker, it is because of friction. If there were no friction, this marker would have slipped from my hand. I'm holding this watch, it is because of friction. Because if there were no friction, this watch would have fallen from my hand. Next, friction between the soles of our shoes and the ground prevents us from slipping while walking. So it is because of the friction between the surface of the sole of our shoes and the surface of the ground that helps us to walk, that help us to stay in a place. So it is because of the friction between the sole of the shoes and the surface of the ground, it helps us to walk. It helps us to ride a bicycle as friction exists between the bicycle tire and the ground. We ride bicycle, there is a friction between the tires, surface of the tire of the bicycle as well as the surface of the ground, road. It is because of that friction we can ride bicycle. It makes a car stop when brakes are applied. The car slows down and stops because of the friction that acts between the brakes and the wheel. You're going on a car, you're driving a car, you apply the brake, the car immediately stops. It is because of the friction between the tire wheel and the brakes. So there is always a friction between each and every activities we do, between each and every things that are necessary for our everyday life. Friction generates energy. It helps us to light a matchstick when we rub the rough surface of the matchstick with the matchbox. So friction, it produces energy. Friction, it is due to friction whenever we light a matchstick, we rub the matchstick against the rough surface on the side of the matchbox, the matchstick gets burned. It is because of the friction. It produces heat. This can be observed when you rub our hands together quickly. This makes our hands warmer. It is because of the friction between the two surfaces of the hand when you rub, it produces heat. It is because of that friction the hands or the thumb or the palm gets heated. Heat produced by lamp or electric stove is because of friction. So the heat that is produced by the lamp or electric stove, it is because of the friction. Friction produces sound. For example, friction between the violin string and its bow produces sound. You all must have seen violin. So when you play a violin, the string and the stick, when you blow, when you move, it causes sound, it makes sound. It is because of that. When you play guitar, it is because of that friction. You hear a different sound. Friction between the pencil tip and the paper helps us to write. We hold the pencil because of friction. Writing is possible due to friction between lead and paper. We cannot write in the butter paper as it's smooth and has less friction. Similarly, we can rub out with an eraser due to friction. It is because of friction we can write. It is because of friction we can erase. It is because of friction we can hold things. So friction plays a very important role in our daily life, in our everyday life. If there were no friction, there would be many things. Life wouldn't be possible on this earth. So friction plays a very important role in every activities that you conduct, in every activities you perform in your day-to-day life. So you must know the importance of friction in our daily life. It is not only that friction plays a very important role, there are many disadvantages also, but the most important thing that there are many advantages which actually helps you to live a normal life. So children, please read these points, read the uses of friction in our daily life very carefully, because it plays a very important role. So I hope all of you have understood the uses of friction in our everyday life. So please children, after watching the video, please read this properly, and in the next class we will start with the disadvantages of friction. So for today, up to this much. Thank you, class.